Everybody, and welcome to the Rent Right Radio Hour. I am Tyler, and with me here this evening is Mr. Keith Franklin.
Hello, everybody.
So, Keith, how you been?
Pretty good. Busy.
Yeah.
Really busy. We are starting to see the light of day, and are getting caught up, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So if you need your mower serviced or worked on, this is a good time to bring it in.
Absolutely. So down at Rent Right at 721 Buffalo Road, we are your Hustler and Kawasaki dealer. We take care of all your warranty and repair needs. So if you've got anything going on with your mower or side-by-side or tiller or anything like that, you can bring it down to Rent Right. Is that correct, Keith?
That's right. And we also work on other stuff. If you got a problem and want to bring it to our shop, we'll be glad to take care of it.
Absolutely. So it's been a little bit since you've been here.
It's been 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay,
Yeah.
so not a big time. But let's do a little recap. What is your role at Rent Right?
I am the maintenance director there.
Okay.
But pretty much over anything maintenance, as far as lawnmowers, rental equipment, buses. I have techs that work under me, and I diagnose stuff.
Okay.
Get the parts for the guys. My job is pretty complicated, but keeps me busy.
Keeps you busy.
Yep.
So when it comes to diagnostics, what really is that job?
Well, you got to figure out what's wrong with it. The machine, motor, whatever's wrong with it, blades, from spindles to belts. We do a lot of belts.
So what is one of the harder diagnostic things that you have to take in? Is that like wiring? Is that going to be carburetor issues? Like what's the most challenging?
It's usually the wiring issues because they're so hard to find.
Okay.
But once you find it, it's pretty simple on a Hustler. There's one full wiring harness that runs all through it, and so you change that out and have a new wiring harness.
Yeah.
So
what kind of services do we offer at Rent Right? What are the main services?
we have NASCAR service, which is air filters, your oil filter, spark plugs, changing your oil.
Right, your fuel filter, all that kind of stuff.
Fuel filter. Then we have the Econo. The Econo is just the oil filter and the oil, and both we either sharpen your blades or replace the blades.
Right, and there is a checklist. So whenever you come into Rent Right, I work up at the front counter most of the time. I'm the lawnmower salesman. But whenever you come in to look and you want to get a service on your mower, we have the two different, the Econo and then the NASCAR. But there's a checklist that we go through with every mower. Can you kind of run us through what we check? No matter which service you bring in, we're going to check it for certain things.
Well, we're going to check your belts, your spindles, your idler pulleys, your blades, any of that stuff. If it's got a bad bearing in it or something, we will replace it. And pretty much, anything, wheels, flat tires, you name it. I even did an engine this past week and had to tear the motor down. It was leaking oil, and
Right.
Had to redo the gasket and put it all back together. Fired it up this morning. Guy come picked it up today. So
Yeah, there's a feeling of accomplishment in that. You find a problem and then you fix it.
right, and that's part of the diagnostic stuff that I do. It's pretty easy to me, but there's steps you go by like anything. So
Absolutely. Yeah, you have your processes. But as it's coming into springtime, grass is growing. We've gotten a lot of rain. This rain the past couple of days, that's going to make that grass shoot up really quickly, especially if we get some warm weather, which it's looking like for this week. What are some of the most common issues or things you see at the beginning of cutting season? What are some of the most common things you can look for on your mower?
It's usually bearings,
Okay.
spindles, idler pulleys, and belts. I would say that's probably the main issues that we do, besides just the service of the lawnmower. So
Right. A big one also to remember is your battery. The cold will zap a battery. So if you don't have a trickle charge or a battery maintainer, it's always a good idea to have one of those to put on your mower during the winter time. Maybe go out and start it every couple weeks. Whenever it's cold, make sure that the engine's running well, the battery's staying up, and also when it sits, those Kawasaki engines, they're made to run, and they like to run. And so sitting, it's always good to start them up. That way you make sure you don't have any fuel issues or things like that.
Also, a lot of people don't know this, but it's important to keep your lawnmower clean.
Yeah.
The deck especially, because that grass and dirt and stuff will pile up around your spindles.
Right.
And it will cause your spindles to heat up, and it will cause the bearings to go bad in them. So it's important to keep that deck clean.
Absolutely.
Motors too. Those motors are air cooled.
Right.
They have fins running down the sides of the heads and the block, and it's made to be air cooled. The fan is on top of the flywheel, and it shoots out under the cover air that blows down through those fins, and it helps keep the motor engine cool, running cool. And you don't want if you have oil leaks or whatever, and that dust and debris gets in there, it will clog those fins up and make your motor run hot. So it's really important to keep your motor clean.
Yes.
And that's one thing we do at Rent Right. When we service your mower, work on your mower, we set it out at the wash pad, and it gets washed there. So you need your lawnmower clean, bring it to us.
Absolutely. We always try and give them back cleaner than you bring it in.
That's right.
Make sure of those things. Also, with your spindles, it is important to keep the grass away from it. But whenever you hear a bearing, and you'll have warning when you're riding, you'll be able to hear something isn't exactly right when you've got some bearing going out, whether it's a pulley or a spindle. But when it comes to the spindles, when you hear something a little out of whack, it's always good to check it or bring it down for us to check it, because bearings are a whole lot cheaper than buying an entire spindle. So depending on which spindle, the spindle can be from $70 to $170, depending on which mower and model that you have. But your bearings that go in the spindle, each spindle has 2 bearings. They're about a $10 piece. Mm-hmm. So instead of $70 to $170, you can have $20 in a spindle and be able to get the life in it. If you wait too long, then that bearing wears out and it's still going. You can potentially warp the inside of the spindle.
Right.
And if you warp that housing and it eats out too much of it, then you have to get a new spindle entirely.
Right. That's right. And it depends on your make and model, but a lot of the spindles, most of them you can replace the bearings in them. There are some that you can't,
Right.
but they're usually a little cheaper than the ones that you can. So
Right. So we talked about this a second up in the beginning, but how many mowers do you have in the shop right now?
I'd say we have one that's we're waiting on a part for, that is waiting to be fixed, and all the rest of them are ready to go. So I probably have 6 or 7 waiting to be picked up, and we have one sitting outside. So we're caught up. If you need your mower worked on, this is a time to bring it to us, because this don't happen very often right this time of year.
That is true. About how many mowers do you think you've worked on the last month or so?
I would say at least 40.
Really?
Probably real close to it, if not 40. So, I mean, it's been a bunch, and we've blown through them, and it helps to have good help, and we have some good techs there. So We recently got Gary Osborne. We have Tucker. He does a lot there, does deliveries, works on rental equipment. Gary is the lawnmower tech there. We have another guy over on the bus side. His name is Houston Heath, and I think he's from Shiloh.
Yeah.
And drives and back and forth to Shiloh to work here. So, but I enjoy those guys. Enjoy being around them. They're good workers. They get the job done, and I enjoy their company. Also, we have Philip Prince,
Yes, we do.
and he's a card. I love him to death, though. Just glad to have him there.
Yeah.
You know, he's fun to be around. Happy-go-lucky guy, and really love that guy. So,
Yeah, it really speaks to the importance of a good team that you have around you. We strive for service. That's what we want to do. Is we want to serve our community that we live in, that we're a part of, and make sure everybody's doing well, and we get you taken care of so that you can do any of the projects or things that you would like to do. And a big part of that is having the right team members to make the job happen. So, yeah. So we've got how many people do you have in the shop? You've got Philip, Gary, Tucker, you. So we've got a pretty good sized team, which explains why we're being able to fly through those mowers so quickly.
yes. They're, like I said, they're great people. Love to be around them. Me and Gary, we ride horses together. You know, I'm a master of all, or master of none, whatever, however you say that.
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades.
None.
Yeah, that's right. So I got tongue tied there, but you know, I am on radio, so
Yeah.
getting nervous.
Oh, yeah. Well, at Rent Right, we now carry DeWalt tools and Crest outdoor power equipment. From string trimmers to chainsaws, we have what you need to keep your lawn and gardens looking great. We're really excited about the Crest and the DeWalt tools that we've got.
Yep.
They work really nice. You use DeWalt, don't you?
Oh yeah, I've got one of the weed eaters. I've had it for 7 years now.
Oh, wow.
And never really had an issue. I've had to dig some like vines and stuff like that out of it, but really no issue. Battery life was, I've never changed the battery on it in 7 years, and
Wow.
use it every year. So same with the lawnmowers. I do own a Hustler. I not only work on them, you know, I own one myself, so I know how dependable they are. I've had one for 7 years, so enjoyed it. Never really done a whole lot to it, you know, just kept it maintained, and they've worked great for me. So when I got a chance to work on them, you know, I was really glad, you know, to have the opportunity to. So
Yeah.
really like the lawnmowers.
Absolutely. It makes a big difference when you believe in what you work on,
Right,
what you're doing.
right.
You know the quality of it, so that whenever a customer comes in, you're happy with it, and you can genuinely tell them this is a good piece of equipment. You can trust it because I trust it.
Right.
It's what I use personally.
Yep.
But what all different kinds of equipment do we work on? We know we work on mowers, but what else?
Well, we got all kind of rental stuff. We work on. Hey, we even do outside stuff too. So if you have horse trailers that you need worked on, hey, bring them up there. We'll work on just about anything.
Yeah.
Bill is always preaching about billable hours. So hey, we love, you know, to see the customers come in with something new. You know, it gives us an opportunity to work on something different. And
Yeah.
so
Mix it up a little bit.
yeah, mix it up a little.
Absolutely.
From services to, you know, whatever, you know, we're up for it.
Yeah, we'll
You
work
need to
on
work on-
tillers or anything like that. We have rental tillers as well that we send out. It's getting that time to get your garden ready. Hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'll have my Troy-Bilt stuff come in. We're waiting on that order to be shipped in so that we'll have some tillers to sell and things like that as well. But yeah, we're always in the service business. But how often should you service your mower engine?
It's recommended like every 50 hours, do a service. The spark plugs, air filter, probably more like 100 hours.
Okay.
So I would recommend doing an econo service 1 year, next year. You know, it depends on how much you mow. You know,
that's
of course, but you have to watch your hours. So if you only use about 50 hours a year, then you could do this. You could do an econo service 1 year. Next year, do the NASCAR, which would change your spark plugs, air filter, fuel filter, stuff like that.
Right.
And then the next year, do a econo and just change the oil and stuff. So that would save you a little bit of money every year and still not have the hassle of doing it yourself. Now, we do offer kits that you can come in. You can buy the kit, have the oil, air filter, fuel filter, spark plugs, the whole 9 yards, and you can do it yourself. And it's not that complicated. So, you know, if you have, you generally work on your own stuff, you know, I would tell you to go for it because it's not that hard to do, but a lot of people just don't want the hassle, so they bring it to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Those tune-up kits, the biggest thing whenever you come in when you want to service your engine, if you have a picture of your engine, what class it is, if it's a Kawasaki or a Kohler. So we've got the Kohler 7000 series is one that's very common on the mowers, and now the Kawasaki, either an FR series or your FT or FX series. As long as you know what that is, or you just have your model number off your mower, we can look all that up to make sure that we get you the right oil filter, that we get you the right air filter, and all the things like that. So you know exactly what you're getting, and you get it for a good, fair price, and you can take care of all those things. Now, the engine stuff is pretty simple. It's pretty easy to change. But how about your hydro service? How long should you do that?
The hydro service on a lot of them it depends on your model. Of course, again, some of the commercial ones, you wouldn't do a hydro change till like 500 hours.
Right.
The residential stuff it ranges from 100 hours to 300 hours, and it just depends on what model it is.
Yeah, which hydros you've got underneath. A lot of times they say for the initial hydro change, it's going to be 100 hours on your residential, and then every 200 after that. When it comes to your XD and your XDX, that's typical. That can be more of a challenging process. Can you walk us through changing your hydros?
It is a challenging, very challenging sometimes, because when you drain the oil out of your transmissions, which the hydros, that's what it is a transmission, and you have one on each side,
right,
that controls. You have one that controls the right side and one that controls the left side, and so when you drain the oil out, you allow air in, and so sometimes it's hard to get that air out once you refill it with oil.
Yeah.
And it's not transmission fluid that goes in here. These we use pretty much the same oil that you would get in your engine.
Yeah.
It's synthetic blend, usually 15W50.
Right.
We do use the 20W50 also, but it's fully synthetic, and it works great even in our hydros. But the complicated part of it is getting the air out, and there's a process. Yeah. There's a process you go through, and it's You have to have it elevated to where the wheels can spin on its own, and you want to do it in a safe manner. And actually, you have to engage it forward, backwards, and you need to do it at least 7 times, and sometimes it takes a lot more. It just depends on how much air gets in the lines when you drain the fluid out. So,
so you want those back wheels up off the ground. That's what you mean by elevated. Is you have to have your back tires up off the ground, so that you don't have any tension, while you're trying to bleed it out. Yeah. Okay.
It helps.
Yeah, I'm sure it would. What kind of blades do you recommend?
I would recommend the high lift. There's several different ones. You have a low lift, medium lift, and a high lift. And the high lift is a higher vacuum, and it actually will throw the grass out probably a little further, spread it out a little more, make it look better in your yard. So I recommend the high lift. A lot of people use the low lift. Especially it really depends on the thickness of your deck.
Okay.
So if it's you've got a deep deck, then you want the high lift to be able to throw the grass out, as far as you want it to. And so we also have mulching blades and mulch kits and all that kind of stuff. So there's if there's an accessory made, then we have it. So if you need it, come get it.
Absolutely. Come on down to Rent Right at 721 Buffalo Road. I actually just made a Facebook post today about blades. So if you're interested, you can go to Rent Right on Facebook. Look us up on Facebook. Give us a follow. Give us a like. And you can see all the videos that we post on there, from mowers to rental equipment. You can just keep up with what we're doing. And it talks about the differences in blades, the high lift, the low lift, the mulch kits. We also have gator blades, which are a gnarly looking blade. They're really cool. So if you want to see those, you can either come down to Rent Right and I will show you the differences between the high lift and the low lift. You can tell the difference in the blade just by looking at the curve of it, the way it bends up. Also, it is important to make sure that your blades are sharp to get a good, nice, clean cut. And that's one of the things, like we talked about when we do a service, we check over your blades as well to see if it's time for a replacement, because they get thin and they start to crack and they can be really dangerous if a piece of metal breaks off and it slings it. So that's really important to think about.
Yeah, some blades come in and they have cracks in them, and I won't let them go out, like that. I'll call the customer, ask them if they want replacement blades, and or whatever else I find. That checklist that we were talking about earlier, we check, one end to the other, and we check them off as we go. So we check everything on the mower, blades included. So if there's any problems, you get a phone call from me, and a lot of times they don't like the phone call from me because I'm telling them what's wrong with their mower, and nobody wants to find out after they drop it off, that there's something else wrong with your mower. So.
But it is important to know that we go through these checklists to make sure that your equipment is running properly, that it is safe to use, and that we have all the things to make it right and to fix it. We're looking out for your best interest, and we're happy to show you what's wrong. If you want to see it, if your blades are shot and you're like, I just put them on last season, but maybe you've hit a few more rocks this year, we're happy to show them to you and let you see exactly what we're dealing with. Everything above board, very transparent. If you've got any questions, we're here to answer it and show you exactly what's going on.
Believe me, if I say they're shot, they're shot.
So not only are you over the mowers, but you're also over the rental equipment, right?
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about that earlier, but there's a lot of different equipment there. We have a Kubota backhoe.
Right.
We have 4 skid steers, and a lot of attachments to
Yes,
go with
we do.
those. We have 2 mini skid steers, and we have attachments for those, which includes augers, grappling hooks.
Yeah.
I mean, just about anything you could think of, we have them. We have 2 mini X's.
Yeah.
And the Mini X is more like a excavator type machine, which we have everything. We have a like mini bush hog.
Yeah.
We have floor saws. We have floor sanders. We have buffers. We have I don't know. You name off some of it.
Hey, we've got floor sanders, we've got floor polishers, we've got jackhammers, core drills, concrete saws that you walk behind, the handheld type as well. We've got all sorts of different kind of equipment, from dehumidifiers and floor fans if you've got any flooding
All the
issues.
concrete machinery that you could think of. We have it, scaffolding, walk boards. I mean, you name it. I mean, we pretty much have it. If you need to dig a trench, we have trenchers.
Yes,
So,
we do.
Stump grinder, hay, the hay blower.
Yeah, the straw blower.
Straw blower. Yeah, that's it.
We've also got lifts. We have a couple of scissor lifts, also just man lifts, towable man lifts. That we've got one that's a 34-foot, one that's a 55. We have a lot of equipment to get
We have
you.
trailers for sale.
Yes, we do. We do have a couple of trailers, dump trailer for sale. We've got dump trailers for rent as well. We've got all sorts of equipment that we want to help you get any projects that you need done. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a contractor that's trying to finish up a job, we've got a lot of things to help you. But what do we look for when a piece of rental equipment comes back from rent?
Well, the first thing is we usually clean it up, and we check the fluids. We check the oil. We check the hydraulic fluid. We grease it. We want that machine to be tip top, in working condition for the next person who rents that piece of equipment. So it's a little bit of process, and sometimes it's hard to get all that done in between, because we have people waiting on those machines a lot. So
Absolutely. But yeah, we go through all the checks, make sure it's clean, making sure everything is greased is really important. But all those things, those are the steps that we take to make sure that our rental equipment is in tip-top shape and ready for you to use. Because everything that we have is made to work. They do best when they're working. We get top quality equipment. We didn't just run up to the dollar store, right?
Right.
We get the more expensive stuff that we know that can put up with the type of work that you are going to do with it. But how often do you service rental equipment?
We generally do it once a year.
Okay.
Usually like in the winter, when a lot of the rental stuff is it gets slow in the wintertime. Not a lot of people are doing construction work kind of stuff in the winter. So it's a good time to service all the equipment. And so we try to do it all then. Sometimes it just depends on, how much that equipment is being used, really. So
That is true. I know one of our trenchers, it's about ready for an oil change to go through all of that. And so we keep track of all the hours so that we know how long this machine is being run. That way we can keep up with service and make sure that all of it's done in a timely manner to make sure that it's just ready to rent and ready to go. We know that whenever you get out on a job, you want that piece of equipment to work. And if it doesn't work, then that means you're not going to have a great day. And so we strive to make sure that we have everything ready for you. At RentRight, we're committed to service. We want to help you with all your projects, from cutting grass to pouring concrete, as we've talked about. So Keith is one of the guys who works on Hustler turf mowers. Why Hustler?
Well, they're just built to last. I haven't talked to too many at all that have anything bad to say about them. They last. The warranty, easy to get parts for.
Right.
You know, they're not. We keep a lot of parts on in stock. Some of the older models we don't, but you know, it usually don't take but a couple of days to get a part in. So you know, it's really user friendly. It's they're easy to work on.
All right.
Hey, the quality is pretty good. So I've been happy with it. Of course, I have one myself, and hey, it gets the job done.
Absolutely. It'll get the job done. Cutting grass is always important. Keep your yard and your house looking really nice. It helps with property value. It helps with all those different sorts of things. And so Hustler's been around a long time. Hustler is the first stick-steered zero-turn lawnmower. Do you know that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it came out in 1964.
Now I know you've seen the tractor in over at Coach's, right?
Oh yeah.
That was like one of the first Hustler made, that tractor style with the deck under it, you know, and it's really cool. Some of you may want to just come by and take a peek at that old tractor over at Coach's and just mention that to them. They'll be glad to go show it to you, especially Bill.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one also we've got there called a Shortcut. You seen that one?
Yeah.
That is an interesting little mower.
Is that the one
You got a saddle?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
sit on it and you drive it. It's a trip. It's a cool old mower. We love those things, and they keep on cutting, and they cut for a long time. Rent Rights took on Hustler in, I believe, 2003. So they've sold a lot of Hustler mowers, have a lot of good customers in the area from Wayne, Lawrence, Giles, Murray County, and down into Alabama. There's a lot of yellow around, which is a really cool thing to see.
The commercial, well, all of them really, they just keep making them better and better and better, in my opinion, every year. They get stronger, last longer. Of course, the price goes up too, but don't it go up with everything these days?
Everything, yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, it's important whenever you're looking to make a purchase like that you get what you pay for.
Exactly.
You're getting quality. All of them are welded and put together and fabricated out in Kansas. A lot of the Kawasaki engines are made here in the USA as well. So that's a really cool thing to know that whenever you shop here, not only are you shopping local with Rent Right at 721 Buffalo Road, but you're also putting Americans to work all over, making sure these things are done.
And I am a certified Kawasaki mechanic, so I have a certificate there. So you have something with a Kawasaki on it, hey, bring it to me.
Absolutely. We love those Kawasaki engines. Those are really
Oh, yes. Good. I enjoyed the school that I went to get that certificate. So we got to actually tear down some engines that, you know, are not real popular, you know, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really great. We're also here to help you in any technical information. If you've got any questions about your mower or what you're doing or how to change the oil or different things, what you're going to need, we are happy to help. You just call us and we'll talk to you about it and kind of walk you through the process. We had a call today on valves, how to adjust the valves and what was the distance that it needed to be, which was 4 thousandths.
Yep.
For valve adjustment. So those kind of things, we're always ready to help. You don't just have to bring it in. We like it when you bring it in so we can get it taken care of for you quickly. But if you're wanting to work on it yourself, we're also a resource for you to kind of walk you through that process.
Hey, you got any questions, you know, feel free to call me. I'll be glad to talk to you. Be glad to take you through the steps to fix your problem. Maybe I can help diagnose what's wrong with it. You know, give me a call.
Yeah. So in the beginning of the season and your mower doesn't start, what's the first thing you're going to look at?
Well, you're going to look at your battery.
Right.
And it's usually the battery, your solenoid or it's your carburetor. So,
Right.
and if you don't put some kind of stable in your gas at the end of your mowing season, a lot of times it's going to be the gas that you left in there. And that gas will algae up, sort of.
Coagulate.
It will turn green.
Right.
And will stop up your jets in your carburetor and your vent tubes and the whole 9 yards in your carburetor. So it is nasty. Trust me, I've seen many of them. Please put your stable in those machines at the end of your mowing season, or run them out of gas. Simply run them out of gas. Then you won't have to worry about it.
Right. We do have the stabilizer for sale at Rent Right. You just stop on in, get you a little bottle of it. That'll take care of all those kind of problems. It makes it a whole lot easier on you, makes it a whole lot easier on us. But if ever your solenoid goes out, you turn your key and it's not doing anything, most of the time that's going to be a solenoid. That's a really easy fix.
I probably do more solenoids than I do anything.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's really important to remember that and look over those different kind of things. Now, right now, until I believe it's April 13th, we are running a sale. If you purchase a Raptor, so whether your Raptor X, Raptor XD, or your XDX, you can get up to $350 worth of DeWalt tools thrown in with your purchase. You get to pick them out. I've got a nice display up on the wall there at Rent Right at 721 Buffalo Road. You come on in, you can look at it. You want to get yourself a mower, but you also need a string trimmer or you need a blower. We can throw that in with your purchase.
Yeah, I've been eyeballing some of those myself.
Have you?
Yeah.
What have you been looking at?
All the pole saw. We have a pole saw on the
Yes.
wall. That's something I need. I need the pole saw. I'm a hunter. I like to hunt. I like to trim stuff out of my shooting lanes.
Right.
Of course, you use it at home too.
Right.
But,
Yeah. Yeah, you got to have all those things. We've got the chainsaws, the pole saw, the pruners. I really like the blower. It's really helpful. And also our Crest products, you can look at that. They've got really good equipment there too. But that's really important. So $350, up to $350 if you get a Raptor. Now, if you get a Fast Track, which is considered a semi-commercial, Fast Track or Fast Track SDX,
smooth. They're smooth.
they are. So you're getting into that range. The frame is going to be bigger. You've got a better seat with a spring suspension seat, so you can adjust it to
Heavier duty deck.
yes, much heavier duty deck. Ready to go through they call it a bull nose, which is the front line of the deck is a whole lot thicker, so that it's not going to wear out running over lots of things. A lot of people that have bigger yards, they have 5 to 10 acres that they cut. A lot of those are going to jump into a Fast Track. And if you get a Fast Track, you get $600 worth of DeWalt tools to go with.
Awesome.
So you can get you a string trimmer, a blower, and a pruner. Right?
Yeah.
You can get a lot of things, a lot of bang for your buck. If you're going to get a mower anyway, why not get a weed eater or a chainsaw thrown in with it?
Exactly.
That's a sale that they're running right now that we're really excited about, we're happy with, and we like DeWalt tools. That's what I've got in my house. All my drills and everything like that are DeWalt, so it's a really cool thing. But we are getting back into season. Don't forget to bring your mower in for service for the springtime, or if you have any other repairs that you need to do, we are here to help you get all those things done. Keith, what else you got to talk about?
Hey, it's that time of year. We got it. We got plenty of room at the shop right now. So, hey, you got to bring those mowers in. You got to get them there quick. Get them there first, and we'll get them done the next day.
There you go.
Right now, with the help I've got, we've been getting them out just as fast as we're getting them in. So unless we have to wait on parts, and that does happen sometimes, and we apologize for that, but sometimes it can't be helped. So sometimes you have to order parts, and unfortunately we have to wait on them. And so sometimes we get backed up and have to wait on some parts, but we get those mowers out as quickly as possible.
And that is the best thing about parts, is when we're talking about waiting on parts, we're not talking about waiting months. Usually it's going to be come in for a couple days or a week. So it's not that long that we can get those things in. And most parts we do have, it's going to be the parts that it's unusual whenever we have those kind of things.
Right. Like, some of the newer stuff that we've been, replacing has been cables, brake cables. Those, of course, on the newer mowers are under warranty, so a lot of that stuff is covered under your warranty and won't cost you nothing to come have it fixed. But sometimes, like that brake cable, there's one on each side because you have two hydros. That cable breaks on one side, so sometimes you won't realize that cable is broke. So they're not easy to see. So when they break, sometimes you may not even realize it until you bring it in. So it's really a good idea to bring them in once a year and let us look over your lawnmower, because we can diagnose and tell you everything that needs to be replaced on it within a matter of minutes. So it's important. It's really important. Sometimes stuff breaks and you don't even know it until it's too late. So we don't want that happening to you. So bring them in. Let us check them out for you.
Yeah. How many belts are on a Hustler mower?
There's two. You have a drive belt and a deck belt. And the drive belt usually lasts a lot longer. Usually if it breaks, there's something wrong.
Okay.
So if you have a drive belt come off or break, there's usually something that caused it. And if you don't know what it is, then it's really important to come bring it in. Let your technician diagnose the problem, because I don't want you having to buy 2 or 3 belts. Just because there's something wrong with your mower and you don't know it. And usually the same goes with the deck. Usually if a deck belt comes off, there's something wrong somewhere.
Right.
So sometimes it's a spindle, sometimes it's an Aller pulley goes bad.
Sometimes it's a pine cone.
Sometimes it's a pine cone. Hey, sometimes it sticks.
Yeah.
We've had a few of those come in, and that's the only reason I could find that the belt would come off would be I would find a stick in there laid just perfectly, and you would think, now that's what caused the belt to come off. And a lot of times I was right. So you got to be aware, that sticks, pine cones, rocks, anything like that can knock a belt off. So it's important to keep those decks clean, your mowers clean.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, going into our rental equipment, most of our track machines, like our skid steers and our Mini X's, the tracks can come off sometimes on those as well, can't they?
Yeah. You know better yourself, because you've had to go out yourself and put tracks back on for customers. So a lot of times I miss out on stuff like that because I got stuff going on at the shop. So so you're the lucky one that gets to go out and fix stuff like that sometimes. But yeah, it does happen.
It does. But we always will send somebody out, send a tech out to look at it. We'll see the problem. Last time there was somebody's working and it was on a flat piece of ground. Most of the time you see it, it happens in the worst possible place. You'll be on a hill or something and the track will jump off. But this one, we just found a rock the size of a softball, really. It was a big rock that had got in there and it jumped the track. And so you have to release all the tension that's holding the track on. Usually that's grease. So you release all the tension on it, work to get it back on. You have to get the track up off the ground. which can be a bit of a process, but we've been trained to deal with it so that we can get all those tracks back on. So if you have anything like that happen with a piece of rental equipment, we're more than happy to come out and look at it and see what's going on, get it fixed, get it back going for you. That way you're not down.
A lot of times, too, that, if a piece of equipment goes down, we usually have another one. And,
yeah, that's true.
And we can either swap it out or, come out and work on it. So they're usually really good about reimbursing for, the hours you missed, or let you have it a little longer, whichever one you prefer. So
yeah, we take care of you in all those respects to get those jobs taken care of. But in your lawn, to have a good looking lawn, what are the things you want to look at? What do you want to do for your grass?
Well, I mean, you've got to fertilize, you've got to seed it, that kind of thing. But you also want your decks level.
Okay.
Your decks, if they're not cutting right, something about it not cutting right, bring it to us. We'll be glad to level it for you.
What's the process you go through in deck leveling?
Most of it's actually pretty simple. We lay down like 2x4, 2x6s on the floor, set the deck down on 4 of those, and then you. I also use a level. Mm-hmm. I'll level it and make sure it's level, setting on the blocks, and then you adjust the brackets on the deck to match it setting on their level, mm-hmm. and that usually does it. But pretty simple solution to it is, if you got the tools to do it, hey, I wouldn't be afraid to try it, So, but you don't want to mess with it, bring it to us. We'd be glad to do it for you.
Absolutely. Come on down to 721 Buffalo Road here in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. We can help you with all those sorts of things. Get your mower serviced, get the deck leveled. We also have aerators.
Yes, we do. We have a 4-foot towable. And from what I hear, I've never used it myself, but from what I hear, it works really great. The softer the yard is, the deeper it goes.
Right.
We do have blocks you can put on it to make it go a little deeper if you need it deeper. Works really great. We also have one that is powered itself, walk behind style aerator. It's probably only 2 foot.
It's 2 foot, 24-inch, self-propelled.
Self-propelled. You grab the handles and just walk behind it and let it aerate. We have edgers to do your sidewalks. Mm-hmm. Flower beds.
Yeah, the bed edger is really helpful for that. The cool thing about the bed edger is it's for flower beds. It digs 6 inches wide, right? Just knock it up a little bit, and you can turn it and make really nice rounded beds. So it's not just a square circle that you can make with it. You can a square circle.
Oh, yeah. Cool! I never thought about that.
But yes, you can make nice designs and rounded flower beds if that's what you're looking to do, which is really helpful whenever you get into putting your mulch down, getting your flowers and all those things, your flower garden all done up.
Right.
So that's really nice. If you've got a little bit of property or a little bit of land that you need to clear off, it's just got growed up, and you don't have a bush hog, it's got some small bushes and things that are growing up you want to take back, or we have the walk behind high weed mower made by Billy Goat, and it's basically a walk behind bush hog. Tell us a little bit about that, Keith.
Yeah, it's small. It's probably has a 2 foot.
It's 2 foot, yeah.
Wide deck on it, and you can really chop down some high stuff with it. I know some of the guys that's rented it said they were like chopping up stuff like 2 inches thick and stuff. I never thought it would cut that big, but apparently it will. But it's also self-propelled. It's walk behind, and you don't have to exert any energy really to push it or pull it. You know, you have forward and reverse on it, and it kind of drives itself more or less. So
Pretty much. It's a really handy tool. We've also got push mowers made by Crest, so they're battery-powered push mowers. And we have the push type and the self-propelled, which is really cool. You come on into the store and I'll let you run it. But it's great. You can just it's crazy to have a mower that you just push a button and it starts going. You push the button, hold the handle up, and the blade will start spinning and it'll start taking off with you. And you don't have to try and crank it. You don't have to worry about gas or oil or anything like that. And if you've got a small yard and a push mower is best for you, it's a really good route.
hey, I'd like to see the one that does it on its own. What's that one called?
Oh, yeah, the robot mower.
The robot mower. That's it.
Yeah, so actually, I believe next month I'm going to get together with our rep, and we're actually going to set one up.
Cool.
So we've got one we're going to set up. We've got a patch of grass out back. We'll have the little pad for it and everything set up. So it works from an app on your phone. So they map the area. You press a button, and it goes to mowing, and you can watch it, and it cuts lines. It's not just going haphazardly. It knows exactly where to go. If there's debris in the way, trees, branches, it will go around it. It'll self-learn. If you've got trees, it'll learn to go around it and then do that on its own. You can set up no cut zones if you've got like little islands of trees that you don't want it to go up into and go into all that. It'll mow around them, it's a really cool little piece of machinery. And so probably next month we're going to have that ready. We'll have a video go up on Facebook on that so that you can see it, or if you just come on out to Rent Right at 721 Buffalo Road, you can see it work for yourself.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing. We're really excited about that to see if you're just tired of cutting grass and you don't want to do it anymore. I mean, you got a mower that could do it all by itself.
That's right. That's right. Like the little kitchen.
Yeah, the
robots.
Roomba.
The Roomba.
Yeah. So, and if it starts raining, it'll go back to its charging port. It does all that on its own. Keeps everything cut real nice and looks really good.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what else you got, Keith?
I'm pretty much tapped out here today. I know we got a few more minutes here, but hey, I'm going to remind everybody, that you got any kind of mower needs. Hey, we do also UTVs.
Yeah.
Bring your UTV. Need it serviced, need it worked on, need tires for it. I mean, we're fixing to be in the tire business. We haven't been in a long time, but we're going to get our own tire machine and we're going to start doing the tires ourselves. So that is up and coming for all the customers. We're going to try to get some cheaper tires in, so try to save you a little money, and we're going to do it in-house. So
if you've got a flat tire, a recurring flat tire, it's a slow leak or something like that, what's your first thing that you're probably going to do? And it's not going to be put fix flat in it.
No. I've heard of a green slime and fix it flat, and a lot of people try that kind of stuff, but it usually doesn't last long.
Right.
If you have the tire is still good, you can put a tube in it, and I did that on mine, and it's lasted like a couple of years like that. So I would recommend putting a tube in. So if you need it to last a little longer and don't want to buy a new tire, hey, put a tube in it.
Absolutely. That is really, really good. We also have Tweels that we offer for the more commercial mowers. So
Those are
no
cool.
flat tires.
Yeah.
So the fins in them, you're never down on a job. For commercial guys, it's really important that you never go down because of a flat tire, because that time is literally money when it comes to getting those jobs done, and you don't want to get behind in the middle of cutting season.
Unfortunately, they don't work on the residentials.
Yes.
Though. So if you have a commercial mower and you want those tires, we have those in stock also. So come check them out.
Absolutely. We want to say that we appreciate all of our customers. If it wasn't for you, this old boy wouldn't have a job.
That's right.
So I really appreciate everybody.
Yes, I do too.
All of our customers down at Rent Right. We want to take care of you, and we know that you take care of us.
That's right.
And that's just good business. So
Yep.
we thank every single one of you. Again, we are your Hustler and Kawasaki dealer. We take care of all warranty work, all repairs, anything more like that. We are here to help you. If you've got any moving and loading you need to do, we've got the dump trailers. We've got skid steers and mini X's. We've got a lot of different equipment. And if you don't know exactly what you need, we're always happy to talk to you, to call in, but also just come out and look at it. If you've got a job you want to do, come take a look. We'll be happy to show you about it, teach you how to use it, even if you're not going to rent it that day. Come look at it. Get an idea for what you're going to use and what you're going to need.
Yeah, we'll be glad to demonstrate it for you. We got some land out back, and if you just want to come play in the dirt, come play in the dirt.
Yeah.
We'll learn it together. That's what we do there. So if you really want to learn how to use a piece of equipment, hey, come by and we'll take care of you for you. So, we thank you for your business, and hey, y'all have a blessed week for sure.
Absolutely. Well, from Tyler and Keith and everybody down at Rent Right, we want to say thank you. Come on out and see us, but come on down to Rent Right. We can help you out.